Thank you for clicking on this video. Welcome back, friends. The champagne flute was cool in my hand, a stark contrast to the heat simmering beneath my skin. I forced a tight smile, my applause joining the chorus, a hollow sound in the buzzing silence of my own ears. "To our brilliant daughter," my father beamed, his voice overflowing with a pride I never heard in my own introductions. "Finally, debt-free, thanks to us." The room erupted in warm laughter, but my sister's wide, grateful smile was a blade. She deserved every congratulations, yes, but not like this. Not with my sacrifice buried so completely beneath their selective generosity. They looked at her as if she had carried us both through medical school, as if my sleepless nights, my grueling surgeries, my own hard-won exams were rendered meaningless by the chains of my loans. Then came the final, quiet cut. My mother leaned in, her voice a velvet-trapped dagger. "She deserves it more, honey." I didn't shatter the glass. Not then. I waited. We had always been a pair. Two little girls with matching backpacks, dreaming in unison of white coats and stethoscopes. We were a single unit, studying at the same desk until dawn, trading flashcards, pushing and carrying each other. "You're my anchor," she'd say, and I foolishly believed her. When our acceptance letters arrived, we celebrated, breathless with a shared pride. Our parents smiled upon us then as if they saw two equals. But their equality was a fragile illusion, shattered by subtle, insidious whispers of favoritism. She received a new car for her rotations. I kept mine alive with prayers and duct tape. Her rent was quietly covered. I counted coins for groceries. I told myself it didn't matter, that love wasn't measured in dollars. Until the night I overheard the truth, my mother's voice carrying down the hallway. "Don't tell your sister, she's strong. She'll manage on her own, but our sweet girl, she needs this." My father's response was the final seal. "Yes, pay her loans. She deserves it more, honey." My loans, my struggle. My years bent under the same weight, made invisible, dismissed. The betrayal wasn't just in their words. It was in the conscious, calculated choice. They chose to buoy her future and left me to drown. I didn't cry. I didn't confront. Emotion would only feed their narrative of my strength, their excuse for neglect. Instead, I sat in a cold, clear silence and I calculated. I began to collect my evidence, tuition statements, emailed confirmations, bank transfers, every receipt of their partiality, organized into an undeniable testament. Their celebration became my stage. I arrived early, a single flash drive in my hand. The slideshow began as expected. Baby photos, white coat ceremonies, her smiling face in scrubs. The room swelled with pride. And then the shift. The screen flickered to scans of our tuition bills, side by side. Mine, a ledger of debt. Hers, stamped paid in full. The whispers began to rustle, confusion clouding the festive air. Then the final slide. Their own words, projected for all to see in stark, black letters on a white screen. "She deserves it more, honey." A collective gasp sucked the air from the room. My mother's hand flew to her mouth. My father's jaw was stone. My sister's face, once radiant, drained of all color. "Debt-free," I said softly into the microphone, my voice steady, my eyes locked on my parents. "Paid for in full, not by merit but by choice. A choice you made between your daughters." The silence cracked. A hushed shameful from an aunt, a muttered unfair from a colleague. My sister stammered, her eyes wide with hurt and fury. You did this." I offered her the faintest, most sorrowful of smiles. "No, you all did. I simply held up the mirror." They left in a fractured, humiliated silence. The applause had turned to ash. I walked out alone, my head high, my loans still my own. But my dignity was finally, irrevocably intact. The truth had been paid forward, not in dollars, but in exposure. Justice doesn't always settle debts. Sometimes it just evens the scales. They wanted a celebration of her freedom. I gave them a reckoning for their betrayal. And it was worth every single penny.
Thanks for watching PastQuest. If you enjoyed the journey into history, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing stories from the past. See you in the next quest.